Ecclesiastes 3 1 through 6. For everything there is a season, and a time for every matter under heaven, a time to be born, and a time to die, a time to plant, and a time to pluck up what is planted, a time to kill, and a time to heal, a time to break down, and a time to build up, a time to weep, and a time to laugh, a time to mourn, and a time to dance, a time to cast away stones, and a time to gather stones together, a time to embrace, and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to seek, and a time to lose. Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this video I'm going to get personal and I'm going to be sharing with you guys one of the biggest seasons of change that I've had to endure. And I feel like it's necessary to share the dark times in your life in order to help the next person get through. All my life I felt like I wanted to help people. That's something I always felt like I wanted to do. So naturally it felt right to go to school to be a nurse. So once I graduated high school, I went off to college to be a nurse. For the first 2 years I went to Tuskegee University, and that got too much to pay for, so I transferred to Jacksonville State University. And while I was there, I excelled in all of my classes. I made all A's and maybe a B or two. So after my first 2 semesters, I applied to the nursing program and I got in. So while it might seem like all of my dreams were about to come true, little did I know my life was about to turn upside down. Once I finally got in the program, they told me that A students were going to become C students. And I just didn't want to believe that because I was doing so well and I felt like this was something that I was called to do, so I was going to be great at it. So I would stay up nights for long nights, studying here and studying there, and barely make a C on a test. And sometimes I would even make a D. So that was just very devastating to me. And not only that, there were small things that were happening. Like, for example, I had a friend and I was supposed to ride with her to the first clinical. Well, for some reason, her phone just wasn't contacting me. She said that she was calling me, and she said that she called me for a long time, but I never got any of her calls. And towards the end of that day, I finally was able to get in touch with her, and she was like, well, I called you. And I'm like, well, no, I didn't get any calls. So I missed my first clinical, which looked bad on my part. So as I continued to go out throughout the nursing program, things just seemed like they were getting only worse. Like nothing seemed like it was getting better, only worse. And on top of my classes not going the way I wanted them to go, I found out that my grandma was diagnosed with cancer and that she didn't have that long to live. So the world that I had known had begun to crumble around me, and I didn't know what to do but cry. I prayed and I prayed because I didn't understand why I was going through that. I felt like I hadn't hurt anyone, I hadn't wronged anyone, so why was I going through what I was going through? And I'm just going to tell you, things did not get better overnight. They did not get better. So by the end of the semester, they told me, how my classes were going. They told me, we talked about my grades and all that, and things weren't looking up. So basically, I flunked out of the nursing program my first semester. So once I went home for the summer, I didn't know how to tell my family that, so I kept it on the hush. And so I began to pray, and I prayed, and I prayed, and I also began to fast. I fasted for so long that I began to lose tons of weight. I would go days without eating. I would go days without drinking anything. And all my family members, they was wondering what was wrong with me, but it was embarrassing. I just didn't know how to tell people, what I was going through. I just didn't feel like no one around me would understand, because the life that I had built in my head, the life that I had dreamed about was basically gone at this point. So I continued to pray, and I continued to fast, and I continued to ask God why. But as I'm praying and as I'm fasting, I began to see things about myself that needed to change. So in that season of change, God showed me that there were things about my character and things about my personality that needed to be changed. So in noticing those things, I was able, my mind drifted a little bit off of, okay, why did I feel out of this, or why did I fall out of that, and into just focusing on the thing that God showed me that needed to be changed. Okay, so I started to work on that, and not only that, keep in mind, people were coming to me, they were down and out, they were crying and this and that, and I'm going through something myself, so I'm thinking, how could I even help this person? How can I even uplift this person? And I'm feeling the way that I'm feeling, but I still did it. And as I continue to encourage people and uplift people in spite of going through the storms and the things that I was going through, it's like I began to feel better. I began to get such a peace, and I began to see that, okay, this is something that I'm good at. Not only am I good at it, but it makes me feel good to help someone in spite of what I'm going through, to be able to make this person smile, or to be able to help this person to look on the brighter side of things in spite of what they're going through. It's like we're all going to go through things. We can't stop, bad things from happening, but it's how you cope with those things. It's how you get through those things that really matter. And as time continued to progress, I didn't dwell on, I dwelled on it for a long time. But then I began to see that I was good at so many other things, and I was so closed-minded. I just felt like I have to do nursing. This is something that I have to do. This is something that I want to do. I wanted to do this for so long, and I was so closed-minded. But God began to show me that I'm good at so many more things, and that my calling is to help people, just not in that way. So I just challenge you that when things not going your way, that you kind of take a step back and reevaluate. Like, maybe I can go into this field, but maybe it's in another way. And that's something that I had to realize, and it took me so long to realize it. But now that I realize it, and I'm kind of stepping into my calling, it feels so good, and it feels so natural. And that's what I want for you all. And I hope that this video today has helped someone. I hope that I can help you get through whatever time or bad time or dark time in your life. I really hope that this video has encouraged someone and showed you that you are not alone, that we all go through things, and people just go through things differently. I was smiling and crying at the same time, but God pulled me through, and He's going to continue to pull me through, and He's going to pull you through too. So I just want you to know that you're not alone, and I just want to thank you for tuning in, and subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the thumbs up button. Thank you.